Poison Clan Action. That's a classic joint, man. And
Yeah.
I always like to play something that's like a little early in the Miami history archives. And
that's definitely Miami all the way, baby.
all the way, man. All the way. The cover is like Denzel Curry. You know, he has the album that he put out recently that he's in a car or something. It makes me think of the album cover for this, the single cover. It's like JT Money and the rest of the Poison Clan.
Yeah, I remember seeing Madball and Uzi on that cover. I remember that cover as well. It's like, I think, weren't they in a scope or something like that? Or it's like they were being filmed.
Yeah, they were. It was like an aerial view of them in like some type of drop top.
Yeah, I remember that.
You mentioned JT Money in a podcast you did recently with my brother Old Head Ed. He has Bruised Beats and Eats.
Yep, shout out to him.
Very dope podcast that you guys did together.
Thank you.
Great interview.
Thank you.
And he had asked you, you know, about like, well, you guys just went into the talking about the Miami scene and everything. And one of the MCs you mentioned, and I was glad you mentioned him as like somebody that you think highly of, is the brother we just heard, JT Money.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a fan, you know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, you know, I love the music first, you know what I'm saying? And there's certain things that, you know, different artists evoke from you or, you know, bring out of you. And, you know, in terms of my identity with Miami, it was really JT, it was Verb, it was Trick to some degree as well. And Home Team, you know, I liked Home Team a lot too. Trey the Hardaway, those were like my groups, you know what I'm saying, that I really was into. That didn't sound like they were from the Northeast. That sounded like they from down here.
From down here, yeah.
Yeah, and I, you know, like I told Ed, you know, back in the days we used to go to the strip clubs and listen to music, and I was listening to these cats, and you know, like I really had an affinity for some of the music they were doing.
I think people get lost, like people that are not in the know, they get lost in thinking like JT Money was only back in the days was only on like bass music.
Nah.
And that to me is very much boom bap, the way those drums are hitting and everything. And the producer is another person you mentioned in the Bruised Beats and Eats podcast. You mentioned Mike Fresh.
Yeah, Mike Fresh is amazing producer.
Very ahead of his time.
Very
ahead of his time.
Very ahead.
That particular beat, that sample he's using is a sample that's been used quite a few times after that.
Right.
Notably, that came out 91, 92, and then Rappin' Forte came out
used it as well. That's
in 94.
That's right.
And then fast forward, Nightmares on Wax, which is like this production duo that they release instrumental albums.
Right.
They used that same sample, and so did Pretty Lights.
Okay.
Is like this production DJ.
Okay.
That does like lo-fi.
Okay.
Type beats, chill, and that shit was getting heavy rotation.
Right.
On Sirius FM and on XM and all that.
Okay.
And I remember hearing it and being like, that sample sounds so familiar. And then I went
let
back into my records. I was just like, that's right.
Let me tell you, back in the days, there was a lot of interaction, you know what I'm saying, with Mike Fresh and myself. He had a studio / living crib where he and a ton of artists stayed. It was called the Bat Cave, and it was in Liberty City. And it was off, I think it was off 124th, and I can't remember what avenue, but we used to always go there. So, you know, JT would fall through as well. And I got to know them and see them all work. And, you know, I was New York to them. I wasn't Dynas. I was New York because, you know, the accent and everything. But, yeah, man, I just got to see these brothers work. And, man, I really was like, you know, besides hearing Mike do some ill beats, I got to hear some ill rhymes. And it was good times, man. I loved Miami hip-hop from that standpoint, for sure.
It's crazy that you were so in that scene, too, but you kept your voice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You kept that what you're comfortable with, with your flow and everything. And
right.
That's dope. That shows.
Don't think that I didn't try. You know, it's funny. Like like you say, a lot of people try to sound like the Northeast. You know, a lot of people in New York and you know the Northeast try to sound like the South now because that's a popular music.
It's
you know
switched.
What I'm saying?
It's switched.
It's switched up. So back then, you know, I liked everything I was hearing. I liked Cube. I liked Scarface. They were huge influences on me. But you know, I'd never wanted to sound like anybody else because by the time I was listening to them, I kind of had my own voice a little bit. You know.
That's dope, man. I mean, How old were you, like, around that time of, like, messing with Mike Fresh? And
I would say I was probably in my early 20s. It was definitely in my early 20s dealing with them. And it was like, like 2021 around that time. So I was, I was heavily influenced, but not to the degree where it made me change my style.
all right, well, let's get into this next track. We're going to take a quick break and
Damn,
come back at
all
y'all.
I want to do is just tell my peoples, let's ride. But every time we out on the